You've probably spent most of your life thinking you're just average, not ugly, not stunning, just somewhere in the middle. But what if that's completely wrong? What if you're actually far more attractive than you give yourself credit for? And the proof has been right in front of you the whole time. And no, this isn't about your jawline, your height, or how much you bench. This goes much deeper than that. Real attraction isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it shows up in the small things, in how people behave around you, in the way they get quiet, stare, act strange, compete, or open up too quickly. So in this video, you're going to discover 8 psychological signs that you are way more attractive than you think you are. Once you see them clearly, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. Let's dive in. 1. People get nervous or awkward around you. Start with this. Have you ever noticed someone suddenly getting weird when you're near? They play with their hair, adjust their shirt, avoid your eyes, talk too fast, or not at all. You might have thought, they don't like me, or I must be making them uncomfortable. But in many cases, it's not rejection. It's intimidation mixed with attraction. Your presence is making them more aware of themselves. Here's what's happening under the surface. When someone is drawn to you, their nervous system reacts. Their heart rate climbs. Their breathing shifts. Their body starts sending signals of adrenaline and excitement. So they fidget. They stumble on basic words. They laugh a little louder than usual. Or they suddenly go quiet and overly controlled. You see awkwardness, but underneath, it's them thinking, don't mess this up. Don't say something stupid. If people regularly act strangely around you, especially when you haven't done anything wrong, there's a good chance it's not discomfort. It's attraction they don't know how to handle. 2. Your compliments sound strangely deep. Pay close attention to the kind of compliments you get. Not just, nice shirt. You look good today. But things like, you have a really calming presence. I feel oddly safe around you. There's just something strong about your energy. You have a really confident vibe. Those aren't small talk comments, those are instinctive reactions to high-value energy. When people focus on your presence instead of your features, it means your attractiveness isn't just visual, it's psychological. Anyone can dress well, anyone can join a gym, anyone can fix their hair, but not everyone naturally gives off stability, emotional strength, inner confidence, grounded, masculine energy. That kind of impact can't be faked for long. If people notice it without you asking for it, that's a huge sign you're more attractive than you think. 3. You don't chase, but you're never forgotten. Here's a subtle one. You're not the type to blow up someone's phone, beg for attention, double text 10 times in a row, force conversations. You reach out, and if they don't match your energy, you quietly move on. And yet somehow, they always end up circling back. They remember you. They watch your stories. They like your posts weeks later. They randomly message you out of nowhere. That's not random. That's called emotional imprint. Your presence leaves a mark, not because you pushed, but precisely because you didn't. Psychologically, when you don't chase someone, you create space. That space turns into curiosity. What's he doing? Why hasn't he reached out? Was I not that important to him? That curiosity grows into mental replay. You become the person they think about when things get quiet. Attractive people don't need to constantly show up in someone's life. Their absence does most of the work for them. 4. People start mirroring you without noticing. Have you ever seen someone start using your phrases? Laugh the way you laugh. Copy your gestures. Pick up your slang or tone. This isn't random. This is mirroring, a deep psychological behavior. When someone subconsciously imitates you, it means they see you as important, high-status magnetic worth aligning with. They're following your lead without realizing it. People don't mirror those they find boring or irrelevant. They mirror those they're drawn to or respect. It's their mind saying, I want to feel closer to this person. Let me unconsciously become more like them. If this happens a lot around you, it's a strong sign that your energy is leading the room, and others are adjusting themselves to match you. That's quiet dominance, and it's very attractive. 5. You catch people staring. A lot. You've felt this before. You walk into a place, and you can feel eyes on you. Someone looks away when you meet their gaze. Another person glances back a second time. A group goes quiet when you walk past. You might have thought, is there something on my face? Do I look weird? Did I do something wrong? In reality, people stare at what holds their attention. It might be your looks, your posture, your energy, your mystery, your confidence. Men stare out of curiosity or comparison. Women stare out of interest, admiration, or confusion about why they're so drawn to you. Most people will never say, "You're attractive," out loud, but their eyes will tell on them. If this happens regularly, you're not imagining it. You have presence, and presence is one of the strongest forms of attraction. 6. People open up to you. Way too fast. Here's one most guys overlook. People you barely know start telling you personal stories, painful experiences, emotional struggles, things they've never told anyone else. You didn't ask. You're just listening. This isn't because you're a good listener only. It's because you radiate emotional safety, which is extremely attractive, especially to women. You feel solid, non-judgmental, steady, trustworthy. In a world where most people feel misunderstood or judged, someone who feels safe is rare and valuable. That emotional safety creates a powerful bond. It tells their subconscious, this person won't use my vulnerability against me. I can let my guard down here. And once someone emotionally opens up to you, they don't just forget you, they form a deep, almost unexplainable attachment. Physical attraction might get someone's attention. Emotional safety makes them stay. 7. Other men quietly compete with you. This is one of the clearest signals you're more magnetic than you realize. You're simply living your life. And other guys start talking louder when you join the group, trying to out-joke you, flexing their job, money, or lifestyle, challenging your opinions more than others, interrupting you, or trying to one-up your stories. You didn't start a competition, they did. Why? Because something about you makes them feel overshadowed. They're not trying to impress you, they're trying to prove themselves against you. That's not a sign that you're weak. It's a sign that you're perceived as a threat in looks, presence, or status. Jealousy and subtle rivalry often follow people who are naturally attractive, confident, or high value, even if those people don't see themselves that way. So when you notice guys trying a bit too hard around you, especially when women are present, understand this. They're working overtime because your natural presence is already doing what they're trying to achieve. 8. People project things onto you. Instantly. This one is powerful. People make bold assumptions about you, even when you've barely said anything. They say things like, you probably get attention all the time. You look like you've broken hearts. You seem like the type everyone likes. You must have so many options. Or they assume you're flirting when you're just being polite. They assume you're too confident, too smooth, or used to getting your way. That's projection. They're not responding to your behavior. They're responding to the image they've formed of you inside their own mind. Attractive people carry this invisible weight. Others attach fantasies, expectations, fears, stories onto them without evidence. If people quickly form strong opinions about you, positive or negative, even when you've barely shown them who you are, it means your presence is strong enough to make their mind race. And that in itself is a major sign of quiet magnetism, the deeper psychology behind your magnetism. So what's really going on underneath all of this? Attraction isn't only about bone structure or fashion, it's about patterns of energy and behavior that other people pick up on instinctively. When you naturally express things like, confidence without arrogance, strength without aggression, kindness without weakness, presence without neediness. You tap into something deeply rooted in human psychology. You become, in psychological terms, a secure presence, someone who feels grounded, predictable in character, emotionally stable, safe to be around. That kind of person quietly pulls others in. They feel like home and challenge at the same time. People are not just drawn to good looks. They are drawn to the way you make their nervous system feel. Calm, seen, interested, awake. That's what you're triggering, often without even trying. Why you don't see your own attractiveness. Here's the irony. The more naturally attractive you are on a psychological level, the less likely you are to notice it. Why? Because you're not performing, you're not faking confidence, you're not chasing attention, you're not desperately monitoring people's reactions. You're simply being you. And when something is normal to you, it doesn't feel special. You don't see the impact because you've never known anything different. Meanwhile, everyone around you is quietly reacting. Getting nervous, competing, staring, confiding, misreading you as flirty, mysterious, or intense. You dismiss it. You think, that's just how people are. But it's not how people are with everyone, it's how they are with you. That's the difference. What this really means for you. So now be honest with yourself. How many of these signs sounded familiar? If you recognized yourself in 3, 4, or more of them, you are not just average. You are not invisible. You are not forgettable. You are underestimating your own impact. You've been walking through life thinking you're another face in the crowd, while in reality, you've been shaping rooms, shifting energy, creating tension, leaving impressions, without realizing where it all comes from. You're not chasing validation. You are the validation many people are silently looking for. You're not trying to be magnetic. You already are. Your next move. Now that you see this, your job isn't to become someone else. Your job is to own who you already are. That means, stop shrinking so others feel comfortable. Stop brushing off your effect like it's nothing. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop assuming every strange reaction is your fault. Instead, stand a little taller. Speak with a bit more certainty. Set higher standards for how you're treated. Move like a man who knows he brings value into every room he walks into. Because once you truly accept your own value, everything changes. The way you handle rejection, the way you choose partners, the way you negotiate friendships, work, respect. You stop chasing people who don't see you. You start choosing people who can meet you at your level. If this opened your eyes, if you recognized patterns you never had words for before, don't just click away. Use this awareness. And if you want to keep growing in this direction, understanding male psychology, attraction, and how to carry yourself like a high-value man, make sure you stay connected. Because in the end, it's simple. You've always been more magnetic than you believed. You just needed someone to show you the signs. Now that you've seen them, start living like a man who finally understands his own power.